Teens we've talked to during this series say many of their peers claim they're vaping to cope with their otherwise tough lives. And because they're hiding it, parents often have no idea how to help.
And it's really sad because it affects their mental health. They go through depression or anxiety, or they're angry with themselves and others.
Students like Molly Frazier tell us vaping is often a cry for help, and it's a loud one.
It's increasingly becoming a problem, yes.
Student Resource Officer Andrew Whitfield tells me at Chapel Hill High School, they've had one alcohol-related incident in the past year, but in that same amount of time, he's had to confiscate 42 vapes.
Parents are shocked. They would have never guessed that their student would have even had one, much less used one.
Not only are they easier to hide than traditional cigarettes, but Whitfield says students are often loading the cartridges with THC, the active chemical in marijuana, to get high. And it's not just here. Miles away at Mount Enterprise ISD, students tell us the same story.
Vaping is like the biggest problem.
In a class of 25 kids, about how many do you think are actually vaping or have vaped at least in the past year?
20.
Really?
At Carlisle ISD, students tell us there were times they'd avoid going to the bathroom just to prevent getting caught up with vaping students.
A lot of the time that was our excuse to the teachers why we didn't want to go in between classes or during, any breaks that we had.
It is incredibly prevalent right now and causing all sorts of issues. Depression, anxiety. It's just not healthy.
Counselor Rebecca Walker says this rise in vaping is often indicative of deeper problems.
They're using it to numb feelings. Same reason why anybody else would use a substance. And then it becomes addictive.
Walker's best advice to parents: have a conversation with your kid so their problems don't become habits.
Just building self-confidence in your teenager, so that then they can say, you know what, no thanks, I don't really want to.
That conversation may keep them from finding an alternative.
They just need some way to cope with literally anything.
Because students tell us once that coping effect wears off, the issues remain.
Now, if you're a concerned adult looking for more information on how to know if a teen you care about is vaping and what you can do about it, check out our article for this piece on KETK.com. Our Sage Sowels put together some resources for you there. Just search for our series name, Growing Pains. And then join us tomorrow at 1 on our Facebook when Brandon Davidson will be joining us for a live Q&A. His nonprofit is deeply embedded in East Texas's adolescent mental health community, and he'll be available to answer any questions that you may have. In studio, Perry Elyaderani, KETK News.